guys, welcome back to the channel. The last modification I'm going to be doing to my bike here this weekend at least is installing the KTM Power Parts skid plate. I've got a number of parts showing up next week that involve protection, but right now this is the last thing I have available to put on. This should be pretty simple. I picked it up from the dealer that I bought the bike at for $114, which I got 10% off of that, so it was $103. I wish I had known that you could have picked up a P3 Carbon or in a service or something like that for like 80 bucks, and it probably would have had even a linkage guard on it, but this one doesn't. So it is aluminum. It will dent, but it shouldn't crack like carbon or plastic will. So I'm hoping that by itself is worth the money. This is labeled to work for a 2019 to 2020 250 or 300 cc. KTM, XC, or XCW, and the part number is 555-0399-0544, in case you're looking for this one. So, you've got, in the package, you've got the skid plate, welded aluminum, looks like TIG welded aluminum, looks pretty nice. It's fairly heavy, but you know, I want something that's going to protect the crankcase and take a hit, you know, where I don't trust plastic for protecting my crankcase, so I'd rather have a little bit more weight and run an aluminum plate than save a little bit and crack a skid guard and then maybe possibly crack my motor. Then you got this little bag of parts here. Looks like it's got directions. Should be pretty simple. And then there's a separate bag inside. It's got some rubber deals here, some zip ties. It says skid plate rubber buffer kit. And then you've got the bracketry and the screws, which KTM, kind of nice thing about them is they pretty much use T30s and T45s all over the place, or 6mm hex, 8mm hex, 6mm hex. So you only need a few tools to be able to put this stuff on. So the skid plate's going to mount right up here, I would assume, somewhere. And what I'm going to do is take a look at the manual. So it's hard to tell here by the directions on how we go ahead and install this, except that there's 4 rubber buffers, 2 small in the front, 2 small in the rear, and then there's 1 on the rear cross member, and you got a zip tie on. Alright, so after you get the rubber buffers on there, what you want to do is take some of the hardware they give you. They give you 4 identical bolts. You take your skid plate and you take this kind of a half circle bracket here. You place the half circle bracket on top of the skid plate, and you thread in your bolts loosely, and this half circle hangs over the rear cross member of the subframe. So it hooks on. Alright guys, so I got the skid plate put on. Basically it's just 4 rubber bands that go around the frame, plus 1 at the back cross member. So there's 5 rubber bands, 5 zip ties, and 4 screws and 2 brackets. So it's pretty easy. You just got to get all the bolts in just real loose, and then on the back hook, and then once you get to the front you can go ahead and get those started. And once you get those started, make sure it's seated all the way down over the rear cross member, and then go ahead and torque down the T30 bolts, 4 of them, and you're good to go. Skid plate is on. Now keep in mind your linkage, your rear shock is still unprotected, so you're going to want to get either a skid plate that has a extended piece to cover that rear linkage bottom shock mount, or you're going to want to get a separate, like a ProMoto Billet Fastway linkage guard, which is something I have coming on the way. You don't need to remove the pipe. You don't need the bike on a stand. You just need it on the kickstand. And literally, if I could do this again, it'd probably take me about 10 minutes. Thanks for watching.